So you guys know that I'm not the biggest fan of proprietary connections when it comes to Lego. Some of them absolutely make sense, but to me it's sort of antithetical to what the idea of Lego is supposed to be, especially when it comes to connections that come together and then are not supposed to be taken apart. However, in today's video, we're focusing on one that I actually don't mind too much. However, as a sort of precursor to Bionicle, this one hits a bit closer to home. Now, I was never somebody who collected the Throwbots or Slizers, whatever you call them, but I am still a little bit nostalgic for them. I couldn't tell you honestly why. I don't even remember ever seeing them in stores, and I'm someone who fondly remembers getting Tahumata all the way back in 2001. I actually picked up my first Slizer set. I'm sure I owned some in the past from various parts lots, but my first official Slizer set from a Goodwill store a handful of years ago, where they had a scuba set that was for sale for $3. And of course I bought it. Had the instructions, had the box, wonderful. But the interesting piece on these guys is this visor. It is essentially the masks for these themes, and there are various different kinds. Some of them have prints, some of them do not. So I don't know exactly what portion of this is supposed to represent the head or the face. Yes, there's a face print here, but is that actually what it's supposed to be? I'm not the person who could tell you. What I can tell you, though, is that this connection is a bit unique because it connects in a very similar way to a lot of different visor type connections that Lego has used for years, decades, honestly, with like motorcycle helmets, for example, and the visors or glasses, goggles, etc. that can attach to those. Various accessories work this way, and so I don't have a major issue with it, but this one's a little bit more important since it is essentially the face of several characters. Now, full discretion, I did not discover this hidden connection. I honestly don't know where it originated. I eventually sort of absorbed this knowledge through osmosis, learning about it through the community, which is why the community is such a wonderful place to be in general. Using this can be difficult, but it's not impossible. The shape of it is a bit abstract, fairly simple in its shape overall, reminds me of a sort of interestingly shaped fingernail. Maybe not my style. I don't think I'll be gluing it on myself anytime soon. However, the bar connection on the side here is a bit too small for most things that Lego creates. However, one piece will fit this, sort of. And it's actually a piece that I come to time and time again. It's this piece right here, the Lego hot dog or sausage, whatever you consider this. At the very end of that piece, and it's very hard to see on camera here as well, there is a small accessory-sized bar. That bar is actually too small for these holes. However, because of the bend of this piece and the fact that it's actually slightly larger than the distance between these 2 points, you can click this hot dog piece right inside here, no problem. And that may have been audible on camera as well. It's a pretty solid connection, and because it is slightly larger, I would imagine it's slightly stressing the piece. But that amount of stress means that it also has friction as well, so it's not just going to flop all around on you too much anyway. Yeah, you'll get a little bit of movement here and there depending on where that hot dog piece exactly settles, but because that piece is bar size, it now gives you a connection. So if I wanted to use an Exoforce clip or some other piece that can connect to that hot dog, even certain pieces with axle holes, that will work. And now I can use this piece on builds wherever I choose to do so. Little things like this are fun to discover, and as I mentioned, I'm not the person to have discovered this one, but there are so many different connections, so many obscure connections, especially of pieces as old as this, that warm my heart at the very least. So it is something I absolutely suggest taking a look out for. One of the reasons that I suggest following things like BioCup, though I don't tend to participate in those types of competitions too often, I still try to watch sort of what's going on, because BioCup at the very least is sort of like the developments across the community all coming together at once. Many people find new discoveries, new connections, like I had done with the Azure the Mist character up there in orange, and I'll link the video to that at the end of this one, so you can check out that mock as well. But many people find these discoveries and oftentimes will hold on to them until something major like a BioCup to really reveal them, because, well, it's fun. When you find something that's you can use over and over again that creates something compelling, I can't describe to you how that feels. When I discovered the head build for Azure the Mist, and that is the orange character right up there at the back end, Mystica style Makuta, or I guess actually close enough. When I discovered that head build, I fell in love with it. But it was just because I played around with interesting parts that I otherwise don't really use. So I implore you to do the same. Not just play around with parts of your own collection, but also keep an eye out for Instagram accounts or elsewhere, Facebook groups and Discord groups, etc., channels, servers, whatever. Because, when people find really fun discoveries, it's just always good to be sort of privy to that knowledge and in the know, if you will, especially when it's first being developed, because you get to watch as these discoveries sort of evolve across community and what else they can be used for. As I mentioned in the previous hidden connection video, I use the Borak torso connection that I discovered in just 2 builds, but I can absolutely see that being far more useful in the future. It has its limitations, absolutely, but it's secure and it's fun and it's unique, and I'm honestly surprised that I didn't notice it or see it discovered by anybody else sooner, honestly, because it's just a piece to me that begs to be experimented with. The Borak torsos, unlike many pieces that would come out after, have a lot of gaps, of holes, and it just begs you to experiment, to explore, So anyway, if all this helps you out, hopefully you'll get to turn some of these parts, some of these builds, and some of these hidden connections, of which I have several videos, and you can check out that playlist. Then I'm happy. I've done my job, and hopefully you get something out of it. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, because it does really help the channel out. And of course, it's the best possible thank you that you can give me, and tells YouTube that you want to see more content like this. Of course, if you want to join the conversation, let me know your thoughts, not only on this connection and what you think you might use it for, but any sort of hidden connections you might have found, especially hidden connections you would like me to feature. You can do so in the comments below this video, or you can join in on the conversation over on Discord, Instagram, or Patreon if you want to help support the channel and get some perks. All of those will be linked in the description below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.